Hello, welcome. I'm your host, Nudi. Today at Jazz is Our Democracy. And we are honored to welcome Lonnie Bradley Holley, a self taught American visual artist, musician, and storyteller. Today, whose life and work speak to the sacred act of creation. His work teaches us that freedom isn't something you're given, it's something that you build. Lonnie, it's a privilege to have you today.
I love the word, it's a privilege. And everybody should respect that because life is a privilege itself.
True.
The reason why I'm saying the things that I'm saying at any given moment, life is subject to change. So if we know the privilege of life, how special it is, how special it is just for us to be on the journey. And we could start off in life being very, very stupid. And we can be lazy. And we can even act crazy. What I said, act. Because we are taught to do these things. And these conditions that we kind of grow up with sometimes render us for the entireness of our life. And I'm the type of person that had to learn of how to be a human. And I'm still learning. So everything I see or I touch, I try to make some sense of it or try to figure it out. It's a lesson for me. And therefore, it's a privilege to have learned from it. It's like everything that's on this branch here. On my way, or since I've been traveling, even in the van, I'm working. I'm tired, I'm buying, I'm putting things together. I'm finding little bits and pieces because it's important to do so. Otherwise, we're the people from the people, and those people was creative. The creativity that they skillfully use is what made the world exist, really. A lot of people don't understand music and where part music plays in our life. Music plays a very, very, man, wow.
Yeah,
It's way out there.
it saved me from so many situations.
It's way out there for universal levels. And we don't even understand what a sound can be like or what peoples are investing, how much money is invested into sound alone just to see what kind of sounds are out in the universe.
Yeah.
We're putting so much money into speakers, so much money into microphones, so much money into technology. And if you look at me, I got the whole bag of wires. And you say, what the hell? Excuse me, I'd like to say it. What the hell? But these technical wires that I'm holding in my hand is a part of our investment into learning and using technology. These wires right here. So I don't use them all. I could just throw them on in like that. No, I don't throw things together like that. I take my time and I get bits and pieces and I put them in place. Everything has a time, a reason, and a space.
Yeah.
In that humanly order, man, woman, boy, or girl. Children, we look forward to them growing up. And in the process of changing as they grow, they learn more and more and more. And therefore, they learn to respect their own growth. And at some point, they call it grown because you get to a point where you are considered to be grown.
Yes.
But you're not through growing. From the time that you're born until the time your heart and your brain stop. Your body is in the process of growing older.
Yes.
So I'm dealing with that as far as an artist is concerned. And that's what I do. I try to just, somebody say eliminate the middle. I try to eliminate the middle man,
Mm-hmm.
eliminate the middle woman, eliminate all of that have to be in the way of explaining my existence.
And may I ask you, how did you get to this point in your life? Because you have, from what you've explained to us, I can tell that you are very wise with how you articulate yourself, the words you use. How did you get to a point where you had this deep understanding of yourself, of your art? Because you're also a multi-planar, like you are an artist of all kinds. You do a lot. You're not only in music. You also are a sculptor. You're an artist too. Like you paint. How did you find yourself in these different forms of art and allow yourself to be?
Because everything that you have encountered was an experience. In your brain, everything you have been through, somehow or another, is recorded in your memory bank. And in that memory bank, it'd be like a carousel. A carousel in the fair or in the circus is something that goes around and around and around. But if you ever read a carousel, it's not only going around, what you're on is going up and down, up and down. It's a constantly moving thing that is registering and gathering more thought as well as the thought that you already have. I call it thought smithing. Thought smithing is that mean I could take one single thought that's already in my brain, calculate it, recalculate it, deform it, reform it, recycle of it to take anything. It's almost like this one little piece that I'm turning as I speak to you all. It's something like a piece of volcano stone from lava that comes out of the volcano. But if you look at it, it looks like some little small nut.
Yes.
That had a seed right there. So for us, the humans, we can process something and see it as something that we saw.
Mm.
And then identify it as that with our vocals. Because we can say, that made me think about it this way or that way. This, that, or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So in the process of thought and thought smithing, or word smithing, it doesn't matter whether I'm writing the word correctly or have I written the words correctly or what someone repronunciate the word that I spoke. If I'm not speaking it correctly, then let me speak it the way I speak it.
Mm-hmm.
You deal with it. Somebody say you groove off of it. You be moved by it. Because I may come with a different formula,
Mm-hmm.
formation of information. And once I give you that I'm giving you something to think about.
Yeah.
From the carousel of my thoughts. I dive deep into the ocean of thought when I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, I'm on that carousel. I'm diving so deep. I'm picking up the choices of thought that goes all the way back to when I was a little child.
Yeah.
Because these memory factors are with me. I love the term jazz, but I think I'm everything that ever were.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am the product of everything that was.
That's really beautiful.
The thing that you told me a few minutes ago, I already used it. but I'm sure that I can use it again. Cultivation. Cultivation need appreciation. I remember a person that all of us in America looks up to. His name was George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver were a person that was interested in agriculture. He was interested in planting, but his main thing were that you got to clear the field to have a field. You need to move everything out of the way of the field. You need to move all the roots. You need to pull up all the stumps. You need to pull everything up out of the way. You need to move all the stones and the rocks and everything. You need to move them all out of the way. So when you start plowing the field, if you're using a mule won't break its leg or break the plow. So some things that the older teachers taught us about the way we use agriculture, how we cultivate. Not only cultivate, but get deep enough. If this was a seed, I need to put it in the ground deep enough in order for it to grow.
Yes.
Otherwise, if I don't put it in the ground deep enough, what's going to happen? The sun will bake it.
And it's not going to produce.
Or some creature would take it.
Yes.
And eat of it. So we got to notice what is the process of protecting that we are wishing, and we say wish. Wishing is something I'm hoping that I get a chance to harvest from that I planted. I could plant one seed. Nowadays, a zillion seeds could be planted. Do the farmer count his or her seeds and say each seed costs $1? Wouldn't that make the farmer a zillionaire? But when I bring that to their attention, they say, damn, my man is heavy. He just told me I had a zillion seeds. Now, if I put that zillion seeds and I take one of them and I wrap them up in my little thing like this right here, it's going to be beautiful. This is where we make a difference, right?
Yeah.
We take and make a difference by taking this one little seed, one little string of either thread or wire, right? So now when us as the Africans was brought here to America from any parts of Africa, we had already been taught how to appreciate something until we tied it on us like this. And somebody called it your mojo bag. They call it your root bag. Because they didn't know what the hell was in there. And it was only something to remind me of where I was.
Yes.
Of where I came from. And when I got there, I had some seeds in my pouch to take out and plant them like my ancestors did, and something will grow from it.
You will cultivate it where you are from. And since you talked about I want us to talk about a bit of your upbringing, of your childhood, because a lot of who you are today has a lot to do with who you were, as you said, a product of who you were. And how was it for you growing up?
We have to go all the way back to the new song, the new album that's out.
Yes.
Tonky,
that you released in 21st of March.
Tonky were the little boy that was lost from his mother. I was separated from my mother at the age of 1.5. This woman took me away from my mother because my mother, like I said, Mama had 27 children out of 32 pregnancies. So I was the 7th child, and I already had a sister that just had been born that was mama's eighth child, and other sisters and brothers that had already been born. And then there were those that had been miscarried.
Mm-hmm.
So by that time, all of us that actually was living had caused it a certain condition that a mother would have to go through. And having child after child after child, I needed nourishment. So this woman that was an Eastern Star sister of my mother told my mother that she would take me and help my mother along the journey and take me because she had milk in her breast and to give me milk. And then the woman took me because she was a burlesque dancer
Mm-hmm.
at the state fairground. That means she danced for a living.
Yeah.
But in the process of moving from county to county, she got disconnected from my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to raise me the best that they can. Now I got to put myself in the category of all these women that were almost like sisters. They all knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they all affiliated with each other. So as a little bitty child, think about me being 1.5. That means I was already up and crawling around.
Yes.
I was walking around, moving around, I was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But what I try to help others with is that I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Right? Right. That was good, right?
Yes.
Because at the time that I started talking about the curious, it fell off the block. The thing fell at a good time because it could have been meant that the part of my life that really, really separated me more and more from my mother were the time that got hectic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not the time that I was enjoying the spotlight. I was enjoying step right up, pay 1 thin dime, pay a quarter. Either if I found a bunch of nickels and a bunch of dimes, I could ride the carousel all day long if I wanted to. All of these things where I was finding all the money that I needed as a child because I was at the state fairground. Everybody dropping money out of their pockets. Everybody making a mistake, putting money in their bag, throwing the bag away. I'm picking up paper. I'm looking through I'm looking through everything somebody else threw away. I was looking through it. I was finding all of that need. I was finding candy, peanut, popcorn, half a hot dog, anything that I needed for my nourishment.
And at this time, were you still with the lady who?
Yeah, I was still with the lady.
Okay.
But the lady had a job to do. I couldn't be all up under her.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I had time to roam. I had time to go and look at the different venues. The booths of, it's like all the art that you see in here and all the art that's around me. It is evidence. I know, I'm loving it right now because I'm seeing the product of brain productivity. Each one of these artists had to be thought-smithing in order to reveal something. And a lot of times we'll just misjudge.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I'm looking at something right now that it kind of scares me. Because I'm looking at more like an alien holding a person with a pair of tennis shoes on, but the tennis shoes look like the two sides of the brain, and then I look over here out of my right eye and I'm seeing the brain itself, and up underneath that I'm seeing the wise old owl. I'm seeing everything that we was taught to believe in as the mystical, mysterious. The owl is no more than a bird. but we see it and we put it higher than any other bird on the planet because he got big eyes and could turn his head all the way around and not move his body. We are fascinated with what we see to the point that we sometimes use those things to be part of our judgment until we die.
So you will say that the recent album, the latest album that you released, is mainly inspired from your childhood, from your upbringing, from your growing.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's 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 inspired by all that I've seen until the prior moments that actually the person that was producing that album stopped producing that album. Because other things has happened since then.
Yes.
Fires of California, earthquakes of different islands, volcanoes erupting on different parts of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only different parts of the planet, but different parts that we as Americans share ownership with. Right?
Yeah.
So these people being affected by all of these different tsunamis and earthquakes and tornadoes and storms and all of these things that is happening to the humanities, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because every branch matters.
That's true.
Every bit of humanity matters to the earthly purpose. If you don't believe me, why is global warming such an issue? Why is, when we tell everybody something, and I probably sing about it tonight, our ozone layer being depleted because of the burning of so many different fossil material? We burnt so many materials. Think about right now, and I'm not trying to scare you, but think about, is this room right here caught on fire? How many different gases in here from the different types of paint that was used on the canvases, right? Mm-hmm. When I did Fifth Child Burning, I was trying to make people aware of what it is that we have to breathe. And right now, if this planet start burning, the burning factor is the scariest thing that we all should be scared of, because we got too damn much stuff laying around on the top of this earth that we don't know nothing about. A lot of us wasn't even born way back then, that they was burying stuff. Shadow burying. That means just putting a little dirt on it and covering it up. I call it sweeping it under the carpet. You can sweep a lot of stuff under the carpet and you can still take advantage of walking on the carpet. But yet still, that debris, that dirt, or that whatever is going to be under the carpet. Then see, that's this little bit right here, right? That's this little entanglement, right? All of these little things, they pack, they combine.
Yes.
But it's showing that it was necessary for this thing to be a lesson or to our standard of life.
I think also your art really talks, like translates this, your concern about where the world is today. And in one of your past interviews, you mentioned about being in the present, how you are very much on living in the present, and that life right now is very focused on the future. How can you describe that for us to understand, mostly as young people who are very much influenced to really think about the future, move?
I think digitally is what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
We're talking about digitalization. We're talking about a global effect by the digital. Everybody using the digital. using the digital to get smarter, using the digital to communicate, using the digital to disgrace, using the digital to disrespect.
Yep.
We're using the digital for everything. But I call a cold titty mama computer technology management, because cold titty mama is part of the system, the systematic. Systematic means that you need electricity, that you need the dams that creates electricity, that you need the water. You need the water running freely in order to get to the dam. You need different seasons to be dead on time. Because with the seasons being off just a little, when the seasons are off just a little, then you got to make a change to live with those seasonable changes. My thing with, are we paying attention to how we're living? How much do we throw away instead of giving it away? How many games are we playing with what we do buy before we take it serious and not have anything at all? When we are all right with our purchasing, we can buy and build, and we can have structures, we can spend $1 million, let's start off with $1,000, $1 million home. We can even, if we got it, we'll invest $1 billion into constructive manner. And then along the way, something happens and a storm comes along. And take that $1 billion worth of property that you bought and flatten it right before your eyes. Because of the pressure that has been caused some thousands of miles away, the pressure is boom, boom, boom. Every time you blast off a missile, hits the ground and bursts, that's a bunch of pressure. As I would have to indicate it again. And that's when I got a plate. Instead of having a plate of food, I got a plate to demonstrate with. Having a bomb with explosive, and I'm not trying to call no name because I don't know them all, but because of me being the type of human, at 5 years old, I started watching movies. Some of the earliest movies, and that was in the 1950s. 1955, you can see me up on top of the house watching movies from a drive-in theater that was no more than a half a block. The big screen was no more than a half a block away from my back door. So the things that I watched and over and over and over and over again. So you seeing reels and reels and reels and reels. You're talking about momentarily, or should I say by the second, thing was happening was actually imprinting. Imprinting, they call it a print of thought was coming into my brain. Mm-hmm. You can see me at the fairground from 1.5 until I turned 4 years old. And I was interested, and I call it knowledge. I call it wisdom. I also call it an impact of what? Curiosity. Mm-hmm. Your curiosity was being impacted because you was like, okay, I can go into this booth here, I can go into that venue right there, and I can see thousands of things in a day. Mm-hmm. So every month, every year, that's a whole change. The whole fairground changes. You got a new set of people bringing a new set of things for each venue. Yeah. But what they wasn't bringing, the most scary thing was never allowed to be talked about.
And what was
because that? Because that was dynamite. That was bombs, explosions. The stuff that was actually killing the human. There were no earlier photographers photographing the the, the death zone. When a bomb falls or a missile hits a certain part, it's gonna blow everything to smithereens. Even though you got somebody there, it wasn't published just like that.
Yeah. And did you witness this?
I was witnessing everything that came through the drive-in in the earlier period because certain people that was able to pay to go to the drive-in or go to the movie, they got a chance to see it. But the people that did not have the money, and that might have been the sharecroppers, that might have been the peoples of slavery or just out of slavery. The working people they wasn't the upper class. A lot of things was for upper class. Upper class was you only fit into upper class was because of the type of money you actually earned.
And I'm also interested in, as currently you have so many forms of art in you. When you started, how did you start off with expressing yourself artistically?
I must have been doing that when I was a little bitty boy. But that nobody wasn't calling Negroes or artists. Wasn't nobody calling on Negro children little bitty scientists. But we were just as scientifically encountered with all the things that a scientist would. I was going up and down the ditch, watching where the worms would go, how the worms crawl, how the bugs crawl, underneath the leaves, underneath the rocks and the stones. I was watching the crawdaddies. I was watching the crawdaddies eat the worms and eat the little minnows. I was watching what ate the things that ate, all the way down to the creeks and the ditches, and then the ditches and the creeks dumped off into the rivers, and then the bigger fishes that's in the rivers and the lakes and everything, they was eating. So then it went on to the eaters of the eaters and the eaters of the eaters. All the things was eating, right?
Yeah.
I did a song called Eating, and Do-Doing, and Do-Doing, and Do-Doing, right? So this was the stage of growth. Everything on earth had to be a eater. Now I'm just watching everything just trying to survive. Underneath leaves, the leaves fall off the trees, the branches fall, and everything just lays there until it was flushed down the ditches and the creeks. And then the creek flushing on down to the river. And then the river washes it on out to the ocean deep. That's what I'm concerned. My concern is what's going on in the drain pipes. What if this just went into the drain pipe right now and just laid there somewhere? Because the muck is going to be the first thing is going to gather around this stuff. And then the clay going to build up around it. And this is just going to be, ain't going to be able to move. So now, within 3 years, this is going to clog up the drain. It's going to clog the drain completely up. No way for the water to flush. Everything that's coming down now, supposed to be flushed, it won't get flushed. I'm looking at that in my mental, not only the experience of being at Little Tonkin McElroy, taking a jug of whiskey, trying to hide it from the revenue man. Revenue man catch Mr. McElroy selling whiskey. Mr. McElroy gonna go to jail. So Mr. McElroy said, Tonkin, take this gallon of whiskey, take it down the ditch and hide it. I'm taking the ditch and hiding it up under the branches, putting the leaves and things under. So this is actually elementary again for me.
Yes.
Because I'm doing the same thing. I'm not doing anything different. I may not be hiding. Now I can take and hide. I could take this bracelet off And actually, I could hide this here right in here, and nobody would not know how much value I put into this bracelet. Right?
Yeah.
You see, nobody wouldn't know, but my little elephant fell down to the point of standing up. This elephant actually came from Senegal
Mm.
in Africa. My first trip to Africa.
And how was it for you? Because Senegal is the capital of art in Africa.
It was so, Dakar.
Yes.
It was such an emotional journey to go to the door of no return, to see how slaves was treated and how they were just mistreated and how the journey for them. For me to take a mental flight after taking a physical flight on the Airbus going over there, or the jet airplane, versus being on the slave ship. I sung about it. On the slave ship, down in the galley, and all chained and bound. I couldn't help but to sing about it as soon as I got back. It's a lot of things that I can't help but to just let it come back out of my system. I cannot overclock my system with information, and I am an informationer. I gathered the information, but I didn't know how to read and write, so the Spirit put people in my life like William Arnett, the person that loved it, my art, not only him, but the director of the Birmingham Museum of Art. When he first saw my work, he said, "Wow, you did that? You did that?" I said, "Yes, I did that." "You did that out of sand?" They called me the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
But I started making baby tombstones in 1979, and that turned my whole life around. Otherwise, I would have been dead already, and I know I would have. But now that I'll be 76 my next birthday. I'm celebrating each moment of my life now.
Yep.
I'm not just doing some things just because it's a monetary thing to do. No. I was already rich. I'm spiritually rich. I'm so rich that I'm a part of the universe. And that's a massive richness. A lot of people couldn't even pay me for what I bring to the stage. And they think, oh, we pay for the ticket and that's pay enough. No, it's not. Hopefully, if I do anything to open up their mental eye and open up their ears where they can hear with their soul, and if I can make them tremble and shake and ask forgiveness of themselves with my music or with my art, that's my intentions. Because the earth, the planet itself needs salvation.
Yes. And you also work a lot with children. I have a question on that because you're an art educator. And the question is, what do you think children understand about art and freedom that adults often forget?
For one thing, children understand pain. Children understand hurt. Children out of all of the human characters on earth, children understand loneliness. Children understand being left alone. From a baby until we get, I don't care how old you are, our emotions are being left alone. That's one of the strongest emotions there are. No matter how many times my mother would ask the question, "What's the matter, baby? What's the matter with you? What's the matter? Do I matter?" She wanted to show you that you matter. Not that all brains are all all blacks, all humans should matter. Every human brain on earth should matter overall over every animal that we have to care about. But if you make me feel like I'm not worth a damn, I'm not. That doesn't matter. Whether you do it with your money or you do it with your spoon that you're gonna feed me with, you could put. I did a piece called Spoon and Change. You didn't have to put me in chains. You don't have to buy me no more. Put my spoon in chains. Stop feeding me. Stop allowing me to get the nourishment that I need. Stop allowing me to get the water that I need. Stop allowing me to be able to speak or work hard enough to earn a living to bring in. Again, the branch fell that way this time. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But it keeps falling at a certain time. Because if we stop the formation, and right now we have a big problem with that, because people that really need to be fed, most of all, is the workers. And I did a song called "The Harvest is Plentiful, but the harvesters is few." I mean, you planted all these, you got all these farms, you don't invest it up, and you don't need nobody in the field no more. You got automobiles, you got tractors, you're investing billions and billions, sometimes trillions of dollars in the automotives. And then all of a sudden, somebody gonna come in ruling, the administrators come in ruling and saying, shut it all down. Gas prices go out of the roof. Oils, lubricators, everything that those automobiles, batteries for your alkaline batteries for the cars and things like that, everything matters. Everything matters. You even shut the damn dam down. Cut the dam off. We don't care if the water flow or not. Knowing that if that water continue to back up, the dam gonna burst with pressure. We are doing too much. I'm saying human, please, we are doing too much. We're doing too much. And we're doing it in such a manner until everything affects, one thing affects the other thing. If I take one pebble and I throw it into the lake, I throw one pebble, it's going to start waves. And when one wave hits, you're going to start waves after waves after waves after wave. I don't know whether you ever skip rocks in your life, but you take a rock and you do it like that, and you'll see what I mean about how a tidal wave can start. We have to be very, very careful. We have to say, kind spirit, if it be your will, guide me through life. Show me how to tiptoe through the morning dew just to feel that the dew is there. I want to kick the blade of grass, but I don't want to stomp the grass until it don't grow no more. I want to be very, very careful with the earth. I want to make sure that the dew is on the grass, because the morning dew is very important. That if that dew is not there, the process of life is going to dry out, right?
Yeah.
And before you know it, a little piece of glass, I got a little piece of glass I thought I picked up on, I don't. I have to feel my pocket to see what all I got in them. And sometimes I have so much stuff in my pocket until I don't have to have.
And where do you get the items from? Do you collect them from your surrounded?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you have pieces of everywhere you've been to.
Yeah. I found this outside, but feel it. Be careful. Feel it. That thing can get so hot in the summertime, right, that it can start a fire. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to put it right into here. everything I got. This one right here, when I saw it, I say it's easily for me to shape that into a heart. You can see it. How I'm gonna be able to shape it into a heart.
But you already see the vision.
It's already there.
Yes. And you said that humans are doing too much. What's one thing, or it can also be many things, but a main point you have on, if you were to advise someone, what would you tell them? Since you're turning 76, you've seen this world transform to what it is from what it was. What's one thing you might advise young artists or just human beings going through life with your experience?
I would have to tell humans at this time on the timeline, on the journey of the timeline, live cautiously, because we are putting all our hope into machines. Live cautiously. We should fear the machines. The machines we could overuse them. They not only can they sparklate, they can set the world on fire. Machines is a frightful thing. To have them all on one surface at the same time. And then we got all of these different oils and gases of all of these automobiles. One thing sparkles, another thing, another thing, another thing, another thing, and after a while you got a giant explosion. If you look at our accidents and everything on the highway, our accidents and can create such a mass traffic jam. And the traffic jam is already a big thing by itself. Just think about it. Somebody came along and dropped a bomb in the midst of a city that has been brought to a standstill. The different gases, the different, what one would call diesel fuels, all of these different things that will burst into flame all at one time. It's an automatic death zone. We've created so much, and we've created it in such a lightweight manner. We are not building constructively like the ancestors built with solidness. We are building, this building here is much more solid than a lot of the buildings that is built in America. The buildings that is built in America, they just have a simple type of plywood. That's called plywood. And most of these paintings is on, that's not on canvas, is on plywood. Very thin pieces of wood. They call it stucco board. I really love the doll. She's sitting between a hard place and a hard place, right? And she's built her home between the hard place and the hard place. But she's a one-eyed, more like one-eyed, three-titty mama. You understand what I'm saying? It's beautiful, but it's something to be afraid of because she don't have a one eye to look at. And somebody tap her on this shoulder, she gonna try to see what's going on over here, and ain't gonna be paying attention to what's going on over there. Sometimes the things that we create, we must recognize what it is that we're creating, because it can be foretelling us what that means, prophecy. A lot of the artists be painting in a prophetical way. They can be showing you things that is going to occur in the future. A lot of the artists that are using their talents and their skills, especially the musicians, this is the reason why jazz is so relevant to today's time. Jazz creates any other form of music. It takes that form of music, like I do, and make a gumboish matter out of music. I'm taking everything and putting it into this one big part of a musical style. There ain't nobody ever even given me what condition of music is Lonnie Holley singing from. I'm doing it in a jamboish manner, a gumbo, jam, jazz, We rocking the fuck out on the stage. We making everybody happy. We making everybody sad. We making them cry. We making them laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm doing things that when people, and it may be 25, I told William Arnett, it may be 50 years after my death that they're going to see my work as proper suitable material, as a prophet that was born, that was mistreated, that was abused. But still, he kept growing and kept presenting his emotions and his feelings about emotions and about feelings. The main thing that I'm addressing is emotions about feelings uh, and and just how many people that is being affected by whatever time it is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, elder peoples can't stand being out of their BTU. That's their air conditioner. Their units that giving them comfort. Once you get them out of their comfort zone, they're so uncomfortable. It's like they're sweating. Oh man, I need to hurry back and get home. I'm not saying about getting home tonight, but what about when you get home? And down the street, the storm have came, knocked the power line down. Now you're without power for weeks at a time. You haven't trained your body, you haven't fixed your body to be able to handle it. Most of the elders is not fixed to take a 10-mile hike. If the freeway or highway is totally congested and shut down because of an accident, the bridge may fall, collapse. You 10 miles back up the road, you sitting in a hot ass car. I did a song called Give Grandmama and Give Granddaddy a Brick for Christmas. Wrap up a brick, just a brick. Wrap up a big brick and give it to them and say, Grandmama, Granddaddy, you remember? I gave you that brick. It's up underneath the seat of your car. Now take that brick that I gave to you and bust the window out and get free out of your electric car because your battery don't ran down. Your battery don't ran down, baby. Associate with our grandparents, where the grandparent that is the babysitters now can make a way for those babies to be all right. Looking over the edge, that was a piece that I did back in the 80s. A baby, a little bitty part of a baby with about 5 walking sticks right at the edge of the baby bed. Because those old people, as long as they looked over into the baby bed and found that that baby was sleeping comfortably, they can hip hop on back to their comfort chair, rocking chair, or whatever chair that they're sitting in. And they felt pretty well all right with them. But nowadays, it's such a, and don't never tell your parents or your grandparents, I don't give a damn about you. That hurt them more than taking a stick and busting them in the back of the head. We must care about each other all the way from the cradle to the grave. And if we don't learn to do that, we are already dead. We are already dead.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed just talking to you and learning from you, because I think how you view the world and how you view, I have never met somebody who's so connected with their art. And with you, with today, I feel like I understand that your art is you.
I'm scared.
Everything is connected.
I'm scared. I'm scared because they keep tearing it up. I'm scared because as fast as I create, somebody come along and use stupidity and just destroy.
And how?
Stupidity is a judgment. Just because you got the power to run a big city, and then you find that Lonnie Holley is over there creating nothing but the truth, and here it is, you don't want to invest into that truth to the point it needs to be invested in, where it could show, as the best Dr. King was talking about, be a king at what you do. Am I not a king at what I do?
You are.
Am I not my grandmama's king bee? Am I not being busy? Being busy? I did this since I've been here. I put all these branches together since I've been here. You saw me bring it in here, didn't you? And I put it together right out there on that couch since I've been here. So this is the product of here. Now think about it, if you gave me all day to work and gave me a big dump truck full of your tritus or your junk or your debris. What could I do with that? Right? I couldn't do nothing but pick. I'll be just like I was in the cotton field. I'm an old man, but I'll pick through it. I'll go through it, and I'll show you a story that has to recondition life. Because we have to build the industry. I love this place because this is a haven for the arts. I don't know who owns it, but this is a haven, a safe place for the arts. If the whole city catch on fire right now, all this place really needs is a sliding wall that could be brought here and put up in front of the door. I already done. I don't think I don't have. I already looked at it. This is a safe haven. And we throw away more concrete than this. We waste it. We throw it away. When we could build these type of facilities all around the planet. And I don't, what's the name of this place?
Montez.
Montez. Mm-hmm. If anybody ever visited this or haven't visited, please come and visit this place. It is one great place for you to see the care of art and appreciation for what other people have are produced out of their brain. Thank you. I know it's time to G.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget to follow us, subscribe, comment, and we are sending you love from Jazz. Peace out.